Welcome to Fit Talk with Coach Luis. If you're serious about getting fit, then this is your show. This is a podcast where fitness enthusiasts share all the ups and downs, the challenges, and the victories on their fitness journey. Now, here's your host, Coach Luis.
All right, so thank you, everybody, for taking some time out to listen to our newest recording. This time, we are with Amber Gabriel. She is one of our newest health coaches in the Charlotte office, and she is amazing, guys. So I just wanted to make sure that we took some time to introduce her and talk about a little bit about her background, what she does, and why she is in the wellness world, which we are very thankful that she is. So, Amber, thanks for being on here with us. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. So give us a little bit of background on you. Tell us about yourself, your backstory, kind of like where you started and what brought you into the fitness world.
Sure. So I'm from a small town in Bainbridge, Ohio, just south of Columbus, Ohio. My dad was owner of a lumber company. My mom was a school teacher, and they still both work. They're very active, healthy individuals. I love my parents. I was a gymnast for 7 years and very active. So middle school, ran track, cross country, played volleyball. And then I decided to go to Ohio State, and I got a degree in human development and family science, kind of going towards that teacher route because all my parents and grandparents were teachers, but then went into the classroom and figured out that I couldn't sit or stand in a classroom all day. And I was just starting to find my fitness background at that time. So after that, I got into lifting weights, yoga, and running marathons in my 20s. And then I met my husband right out of college, and we married around 25. And then we had 4 amazing children. We have a 11-year-old, her name's Olivia. Roman and Stella are twins, they're 8 years old. And Eli, he is 4. And I was a program director at the Little Gym for 7 years with kids. Loved that job, one of my favorite jobs I ever had. And then I decided to get certified in health coaching around 2013, and went on to work with moms and families flipping their homes, turning them into safe havens for their family. And I believe that moms have the biggest impact on health because of their purchase powering at the grocery and modeling for their family. Mm-hmm. That's a little background.
But it's so true, though. It's because a lot of the times they want to say about, how kids are eating their foods, this and that, and then, but they don't really realize, okay, well, the kids aren't buying the food, so
right.
Let's focus on exactly like you said, the parents. They're the ones that are bringing the food in there, especially if the mom's the one that does all the cooking, then 100%.
Yep.
They're the biggest. For sure. The biggest contributor to that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So the office life, we talked a little bit about that. How that's not really your thing, and how you would love to do more of outdoors work and all that versus being more in office. So how are you dealing with those type of struggles now?
So, throughout the day, I personal train clients in the office. So that gives me a little break through that 8-hour time frame in the office. And then I like to go outside for quick walks. If I'm checking my email or reading an article, I hop outside and get some sun. People always ask me, what do you do in the afternoon when you have that need for coffee to get through the day? I say, go outside for 10 minutes and take a walk, come back in. It will completely revive you instead of having to do that caffeine spike. But yeah, I've actually learned how to manage it pretty well. I think a lot of people do that are in an office setting that aren't used to it per se, but just the little breaks, sun, and I also have good little healthy snacks that keep me going in the office.
Nice. And it's good that you're doing that where you go outside, because you're absolutely right. A lot of times, a lot of people don't do that. And it's just so important, because then sometimes it's more of, well, let me just get this one more thing done, or, well, let me just knock this one thing out. But if we keep that mentality, it never ends. So taking that little 10-minute break, it's going to, the only thing it's going to do is just help. And you're going to feel so much better, and you're going to come right back to the same exact thing anyways. So, so why not take some time, get some of that nice sun in, hopefully if it's not raining, of course. But
Right.
it's really nice to just get up and move. And that's one of the things that I try to tell everyone is a lot of people nowadays have their Apple Watch and
Yep.
their little thing goes off that says time to stand.
Right. It does.
Like, so next time you see that, don't ignore it. It's telling you
Right.
that for a reason. So just, pay attention to it and move. That's it. Something as simple as just walk up and down the hallway if it's horrible outside, but just do something. But that's good too. You have snacks and all that too. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you do to fight away like negative thoughts, and how do they impact your overall day to day if you're feeling those type of things?
I like to use apps or meditate throughout the day. That kind of helps me refocus. I'm really big into breathing. I think breath is huge just to help calm the mind and just also just kind of gain perspective of, like you're saying, the negative thoughts. But I always think when you have negative thoughts, you have to just flip the script in your head. So if you're always thinking like, I can't lose the weight, I don't want to exercise, if you start saying the opposite, you'll start believing that you'll go that direction instead of the negative direction.
That's true. I like that. So that's true, because you can definitely set your mindset, how you can reset it how you want to. That's true. So I like that. It's a good way of doing that. So when you did a lot of your training back then, how would you work through those struggles?
Which training do you mean?
Like, so your actual exercise training and like for yourself, how would you push yourself through those moments of, so like let's say you were about to do some type of a exercise routine and you were kind of like struggling to get that workout through, like how would you reset your mind to get yourself to do it better, just in case someone out there is like actually not really feeling a workout they're going to do today?
Yeah, so I always focus on how I'm going to feel afterwards. I don't really focus too much. I mean, every day you're not going to want to go to the gym or go for a jog or a walk, but I always think of the endorphins, and I think of the clear mind I'll have. I'll be less reactive to people around me. So I go for what's coming instead of the feeling I'm at that I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
for sure.
That's good. Yeah, definitely. Because it's true. We're not always motivated, right?
No, we are not.
And that's a good way to fight away, like, negative thoughts or things like that, so. And have you ever noticed like that would impact your overall progress? Like if you weren't really feeling at your best, and then would you notice how that would impact your overall, progress for the day?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, my whole thing for the negative thoughts is, as long as you're sleeping properly, and your sleep is a huge one for me to not have negative thoughts. So I just know the sleep I need and the clean food I need to keep that clear mind and to keep the thoughts out. So I'm pretty disciplined with that.
Yeah, that's good. And I mean, and it also helps a lot to be able to practice it, obviously, because then that helps us on what we do to be able to share that, with
sure.
And people that we see, because it's so much easier to explain through something if we do it constantly, because then we'll be able to really genuinely be able to give good advice for that.
Yes, agreed 100%.
Yeah. So any good books you read to help you out right now that you recommend?
Yes, actually, I love that you asked that question. So I try to read at least a book a week, or I listen to audios while I'm in the car driving to work. But two books I love by Ben Greenfield is The Boundless book, which is all about longevity, and Fit Soul, which I think I shared with you when I saw you last time, but it's all about spiritual fitness, which is really great when you're in this health space, because you get really caught up in the physical side and, am I eating right? Am I sleeping right? But then I think a lot of us don't always take care of the spiritual side. So those two books were awesome. I've actually had the members here read them. And then The Pagan Diet, which is by Mark Hyman, it's awesome because it mixes paleo and being a vegetarian in one. So it's like super.
That. Yeah, I listened to the Doctor's Pharmacy a lot.
I love it. It's like my favorite podcast.
Yep. And then I'm listening to it. I was actually listening to it on the drive this weekend,
Yeah.
and you talking about the how important it is to not just overall just be healthy in what we do activity wise, but
Mhm.
eating. How that's
Yes.
so important and conducive to just living a healthy lifestyle. Like we were just talking about earlier about those simple things, you know, even walking outside barefoot, that you said
Yep.
that you really like to, encourage, the people you train to do. And
Hmm.
that was going to be my next question. What is like one of your favorite things to do when you're not working? Like, what is some of the favorite things you guys like to do on your, either on your weekends or just, when you're able to take time off?
So I'm a yoga teacher, so I love to hike to spots that are kind of remote and take my yoga mat and do yoga overlooking a mountain or at the beach. I love, love, love trying to find a really cool spot just to breathe and hike. And I was saying about forest bathing. That's probably my favorite thing to do on the weekends alone. And then with my family, we mountain bike, we garden, we travel, we do all those things. But I'm a really big advocate of working hard Monday through Friday. And then when we hit Friday at 5, we are like no hardly any cell phones. It's just family time, and we just love to chill. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
mhm.
That's because then you guys, again, you're practicing what you preach, and not just,
Yep.
of course, alone at times, because that is actually incredibly important to take that alone time, you know, and away from everyone, even like you said, even the family at times. It's good. It's very important to have those times where you just kind of like disconnect and be with yourself, but
Yeah.
then also being able to share that with your family and everyone be kind of on the same page and enjoy that. That's a gift.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, like you said about being alone, and then it's also, we were talking about campgrounds and the community there. It's
Yep.
so good to have that community as well that are the like-minded, earthing, eating clean, just they want to feel their best. So I think it's also important, you do have the alone time, but that you find that community that's all on the same page with your health goals.
Absolutely. It's just so nice, and like, and also how we were talking earlier, the just how everyone there is always, you're never going to see, I mean, obviously, I guess if something happens, but for the most part, nobody out there is ever going to be in a bad mood
Right,
because
right. Everyone's outside.
they're outside. Yeah. And he's just enjoying being outside and being in that moment. They
Yeah,
don't,
for sure.
at that time, they're not worrying about, what you said earlier, the long week and the
Yeah,
work. They're not thinking about, oh man, I got to get that spreadsheet done. They're not. They're just thinking about sitting there, being outside, being present,
yeah,
and enjoying that moment. I think that's why it's so important that we do those things, that we take the time off and just make
yes.
sure that we reconnect again. And and how you said earlier, be barefooted as much as you can while you're
Yep.
while you're out there. So it's just important to take those times and all that. So final thought, Amber, what message would you want to send to anyone listening right now?
So I'm going to steal this from Mark Hyman, which I, love his podcast as well. But I just think we need to be the CEO of our health. And I think it's really important to connect with a health coach and a doctor. And I just think we want to find somebody to partner with us along our journey. And that's the biggest thing this year is just take ownership of your health. Don't think somebody else has control over it.
That's right. That's perfect. And I like that because it's so true. We have to, it's easy to place the blame,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
it's so easy to do that, but with a little bit of effort, we can make our own health, and it'll take work, of course, but
Yes.
we'll
Yep.
feel
For
so
sure.
much better. And that's the beauty about having that, the design that we have now, that we're able to do these things where you can come now to a clinic and have not just a doctor that's, like Dr. Woodward, that's
Mm-hmm.
focused solely as much as possible on getting the person just to feel healthier, getting their gut healthier, getting them to
Yeah.
feel better, versus just loading up with a ton of pills. And then
Yep.
on top of
Yep.
that, you have a health coach there that's going to guide you and help you, with the day in and day out part of things. And that's how you bridge that gap. You make that connection that is so lost right now in healthcare, where, I've heard so much where people are just like, well, I've been told by my doc to just, okay, you got to do better and eat healthier and take care. So,
but they don't have the tools to do that, which is what we're for.
Exactly. So having this excellent foundation and this great team where everyone works together and hand in hand is just a massive blessing to be a part of. So super excited that you are here, and your attitude and your positivity and your just the fact that you live this life is a huge asset to have you here. So thank you so much, Amber, and for taking the time. It's Monday, and I know you got a long week. So appreciate you taking the time to again, making the time for the healthy stuff. So
well, it's good chatting with you.
Thank you. Likewise. And everyone, again, she is in the Charlotte, North Carolina location. You can also look us up on Welcome MD. That's WELLCOMEMD.com. And also on Instagram, welcome_MD. And obviously, where I'm at with live2progress.com. And hopefully we'll chat again soon. And thanks again, Amber, for being with us.
No problem. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out Fit Talk with Coach Luis. Remember to follow us on social media, on Instagram at Live2Progress and on Twitter at Live2Progress. Stay tuned for more episodes of Fit Talk with Coach Luis coming soon. And remember, always live to progress.